Back here at home, and a major headline in politics, Rudy Giuliani, the once respected New York mayor and former attorney for Donald Trump, has filed for bankruptcy. This comes after a jury last week slammed Giuliani with a $148 million verdict against him for defaming two former Georgia election workers. For more on this filing and what it means for Giuliani, NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos joins me now. So, Danny, talk to us about what is happening here, because there's always this situation where multiple things can be true at once, right? Very possible he absolutely needs to file for bankruptcy. Also seems very likely that this is a legal strategy. How would this help him in a legal sense?
Generally speaking, bankruptcy, Chapter 11 in particular, allows somebody to basically file and remain a trustee in possession of their own assets. But what really happens is you're saying to the world, hey, I don't have enough assets to pay off my liabilities. My liabilities exceed my assets, and I have debtors lined up who want their money. And what happens is there is a very complex system of deciding who among your creditors gets to be in the front of the line and who gets to be in the back of the line. Generally speaking, your secured creditors are at the front, your unsecured creditors are at the back. So there are different examples, but plaintiff who has won a large monetary judgment, they may not necessarily get paid, but they have to get in line with everybody else according to the priority of those creditors. So it is a really frustrating thing for those creditors to find that they may be closer to the back of the line and may not ever get paid with the assets that are available.
So looking at just what we learned from this filing about Giuliani's finances, some of it is this. He says that he owes creditors just over $1 million and $700,000 in federal back taxes, $300,000 in delinquent state taxes. He also says in here that he owes Hunter Biden money. And we're hearing some reports possibly that Hunter Biden is now suing Giuliani for disclosing some of this information. When you are filing for bankruptcy, are you able to just not disclose things here and there? I mean, how transparent do you have to be?
Very transparent. And in addition, you can't raid any of those assets. The simplest example is that if you list a home with all the stuff inside of it as part of the bankruptcy estate, you can't go in there and take out some old valuable or some jewelry or something that's considered part of the estate and liquidate it and keep it for yourself. That's something bankruptcy courts are very mindful of, is that somebody may declare bankruptcy but may still be spending money like a spendthrift, like somebody who isn't in bankruptcy. After all, those kinds of bad decisions are how people arrived in bankruptcy court to begin with. So Rudy Giuliani is now going to be watched. When you declare bankruptcy, that is the price you pay. There are going to be creditors who are going to be lined up, and they're going to learn all about his assets, and he's got to be honest about it.
Okay, so let's talk about former President Donald Trump and what is happening in Colorado right now, and with that ruling from Colorado Supreme Court deciding to exclude him from the state's Republican presidential primary ballot. So the court has made that decision. NBC News is now learning that his legal team will likely file an appeal to the Supreme Court as early as next week. Not a huge surprise, because just looking at the timing of when they print ballots in early January, when the first state, Iowa, will vote in the Democratic primary, that being January 15th, like the timeline here is really short. But I'm curious, what do you think is going to be the legal argument his team is going to make when they file to have the Supreme Court pick this up?
They have a number of legal arguments. And in fact, the Colorado Supreme Court's opinion almost lists them in bullet point, what we may expect. And that's at the front of the opinion, the different legal issues that they may raise. For example, the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment says that an insurrectionist can't run for office. But there are a number of issues surrounding that. Number one, the Colorado District Court, the lower court, concluded that Trump did engage in insurrection, but it concluded that he is not an officer within the meaning of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And amazingly, when you look at the text, it lists a lot of different jobs, including the vice president. It doesn't list the president. That's an argument to be made that a court could go either way on that determination. And on these legal issues, particularly these really novel legal issues, when you appeal them, the court will look at them what's called de novo, with fresh eyes. They may not give any deference to the Colorado Supreme Court's determination on those legal issues. And that's just one example. Another example is this even something that is justiciable by the courts? There are certain political questions that are firmly committed to certain branches of the government. For example, if a president is impeached and he decided, well, I don't think I should be impeached, I'm going to file suit in district court. No, that would be dismissed almost certainly because the Constitution says impeachment is solely the province of Congress. The courts have no role in it. So that's another issue. So if you're just counting up all the issues, there's a decent chance of all those different issues that the Supreme Court of the United States could find an issue to hook onto. And any one of those, if reversed, would result in a reversal of the Colorado Supreme Court's opinion.
So where things stand right now, the Colorado court, if I'm remembering my dates correctly, they said they were going to issue a stay until January 4th. Colorado prints ballots, though, on January 5th. Iowa, the Republican primary, they start voting in that on the 15th of January. Can the Supreme Court possibly get through this and get through all those legal arguments in a timely manner? You know,
Ellison, almost every time I'm on air, and every legal analyst, I think, is sharing this feeling, we get asked, how soon? Yeah. What's the timeline? And the answer to that, if I'm being candid, is, well, if I base it on my personal experience involving cases you've never heard of, the answer is, who knows? The normal appeal to the Supreme Court takes years upon years. Most lawyers never have an opportunity for an expedited appeal to the United States Supreme Court. And yet, we have a January 4th deadline, which is days away, over the holidays. Good luck getting folks in the Supreme Courthouse to be excited about working over the holidays over the next few days. And yet, the Supreme Court may have to deal with just that issue. And it looks like nobody's going to go home before 8, 9 o'clock at the Supreme Courthouse or among Trump's attorneys or really anyone involved in any of these legal hot-button issues that have clocks ticking. And I mean clocks, in a way, just days away from the first deadline.
Yeah, it is mind-boggling when you look at the upcoming dates. A lot for them to get through. Danny Cevallos, NBC News legal analyst, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.